Hey, what's happening? Welcome to another episode of Reasons Why I Drink. It's Cosmo, live on the Bud Light futon here in Mom's basement. Got a little special guest with me, old Charlie boy hanging out. Look at this little kitty cat ratter. Good guy, love this cat. Anyway, so this intro song, Switchfoot, Meant to Live, came out when I was like in 6th grade. It was a classic hit. Honestly, I loved it. The music video was fucking great. It was a bunch of dudes jamming out in like an apartment building or whatever you call it, and it was falling apart, but they were just still rocking out hard. We meant to live for so much more, but we lost ourselves. And then I realized this band was Christian rock, and it just kind of weirded me out from anything else they ever played. Like, this song was really catchy, don't get me wrong, but then once I figured out these guys were like Bible humpers and shit, it kind of just, turned me off of them. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, I guess, but like, in my opinion, like, I am a Christian technically, but like, I never went to church, never really, read too much into the Bible, never did much, like, in the church. Probably went to church like 5 times total growing up, so I was obviously never very religious. So I just don't know how much I really believe in the whole grand scheme of things. Don't get me wrong, I believe in a higher power like God. I definitely believe that exists. And like karma is real. I know that I don't think that has to deal with religion, but like karma's real because what goes around comes around. That shit is true as fuck. You're a good person, good shit will happen to you. If you're a bad person, bad shit will happen to you. It just is how it works. So I believe in that. I believe in a higher power, maybe like something has a big, greater plan for all of us. But other than that, no, I don't believe in, like, the Bible, all that stories from back in the day. How can you believe that? None of us were even close to being alive. How do we even know that's real? Like, do they have, what's the, a bibliography for the Bible to give me proof of who could cite this shit and, where it came from? Because no, we can't. That's going to be about the end of my religion rant because don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to get anyone started. I don't want anyone thinking I'm an atheist because, like, I do believe in some sort of God. But for religion, in the most part, I think it's just a crock of shit for people to believe in because they don't want to admit their life sucks or something. I don't know. We're going to leave it right there at the 3-minute mark. No more religion talk. This episode, I want to talk about Christmas and New Year's Eve because I haven't talked to you folks in almost 2 weeks. I've been fucking slacking. I've been being a bitch, and I'm sorry. I apologize. I should be doing more episodes, and I'm not giving you enough content, whether it's on Instagram or these full-length videos. I got to be better about myself in this new year. That's a resolution to do more podcasts and to put more content on Instagram. I got to step my shit up for you folks. But for Christmas, I had a great Christmas. I woke up in the morning with Mom and Dad. All my presents that I opened, I pretty much picked out myself. They were just pretty much different kind of clothing articles for me. I had, picked out some khakis, some jeans, some workout clothes. That's about it, really. I mean, I didn't really need anything this year. But the best part about Christmas morning was Christmas breakfast. It was me, Mom, Dad, and my neighbor Eva. She's pretty much like my grandma. She's like the coolest grandma I've never had. Love this woman. And so she came over and we had mimosas and my mom made like waffles, eggs, bacon, fruit. It was fucking great. And I was making mimosas for everyone. I was bartending. So needless to say, around breakfast I had probably like 4 mimosas. And then afterwards at like noon, I had an Irish coffee just to keep the flow going. Then me and my mom went over to her mom's house, my crazy grandma, dysfunctional side of the family. We were there for probably about an hour and a half or so. I had a couple Bud Lights to keep the flow going. And then I came back home, took a shower, had a Sam Adams Winter Lager just because I said if I've been drinking that much, I need to keep the flow going. If I stop drinking, I'm going to get tired and want to take a nap. So I did that, and then we went over to my dad's side of the family, his brother's house, my aunt and uncle, And we had Christmas there, and they're just really awkward at times. So like that side of the family, it's really good to be drinking for. So I had a couple glasses of sangria once I got there. Had a Christmas sale, Great Lakes style for you Ohio people. Um, and the whole time I was there, I avoided trying to talk to my like aunts and uncles and like actual adults, because they were all asking me what I was up to since I graduated in May with my master's, and I still work at Chili's. So yes, I have 2 degrees, and I'm just a bartender at a chain restaurant. I'm definitely underachieving right now, but I'm okay with it. Like, I'm not suicidal. I'll let you know if I am. That was just a joke, by the way. I'm definitely not suicidal. So, needless to say, like, those conversations were not enjoyable. So, I spent most of the evening hanging out with my 2 cousins that were 6 and 8 years old. These 2 little girls are so funny. They're fun to hang out with. They think I'm the coolest, and I definitely know I'm the coolest cousin. So, I'm just like, chilling with them. They're showing me all their Christmas toys. The one has a bow and arrow. That's not a real bow and arrow. Like, the arrow itself, the bow is real, but the arrow is like, it's got a padded ending, and it's like a big tennis ball at the end, so like it can't actually break or hurt anything. So she's shooting that a bunch, and I'm like, oh, let's put on a little Christmas show at the end of dinner. So the one girl does her gymnastics routine, the 8-year-old, and that's a big hit. And I'm the MC of this also. I'm introducing it all. I'm being very grand and making a big scene for the entire family, because I'm drunk and I don't give a shit. Like, I'm feeling good, and these little girls are happy, and they think I'm cool, and I'm having a fun time with them. So you know what? We're gonna put on this play, this show, and do whatever we want. So then the second one goes, and her routines with the bow and arrow, we practiced upstairs, hiding from everyone. She shot it off my hand as I was holding it out, and then I got down on my knees and she shot it off my head. She was 2 for 2, no issues. It was such a perfect hit, because in practice, we were practicing everything a lot, but she was always missing. She wasn't hitting me by a mark. She was fucking up, and she was getting mad at me, saying it was my fault. And and I was worried that if this show backfired, she was gonna get embarrassed and cry, and I was gonna look like the asshole for making it try to happen. But no, this bitch was too. I'm calling my 6-year-old cousin a bitch. I gotta rephrase that. No, she's definitely not a bitch. This little girl, this little awesome chick, she shot 2 for 2 with her bow and arrow, and like I said, knocked it off my hand. Well, on the hand shot, I moved, but she still hit the cup, and it was perfect. And then off my head, she hit that for real, and I was so pumped for her, and that closed out the show. And then we did like a little white elephant gift exchange, $10 gift exchange. Everyone draws a number. You can either pick a gift when it's your turn or take someone else's. And it was a good time. And then, I went over back to my crazy grandma's house because more of my cousins were there. It was Dale, CJ, and Kyle, classic crew. Usually never see those guys, so I had to go back over. Had a couple more Bud Lights. Had a good time. Went back home, passed out by like 10:30. Cottonmouth, 4 days, all this talking. And that wrapped up about Christmas. But I do want to mention, over the span from Christmas break until New Year's Eve, or, Christmas to New Year's, I binge watched Breaking Bad for the second time. And, after the second time you watch it, you realize just how fucked up Walter White really is. He's a badass, don't get me wrong. He's ruthless. But, like, all the sacrifices he thinks he's making don't amount to anything. Like, he puts himself before everyone else at every time, and innocent people die, plenty of people die at his cost, and he doesn't even keep all of his money that he makes. Like, he loses a lot of the times. And I can't believe it, but I like the show a lot because Bryan Cranston is an incredible actor. Excuse me. Bryan Cranston is an incredible actor. If you ever seen Malcolm in the Middle, he's the dad in Malcolm in the Middle, and then you watch Breaking Bad, they are 2 complete opposite characters, but he plays them both with such great conviction, and you believe in both situations, he's the man who he is. In Malcolm in the Middle, he's the craziest, most lunatic dad I've ever met, and it's amazing. And in Breaking Bad, he's the most cynical, most fucked up dude you've ever met. And it's just, kudos to him for his acting abilities. Also, shout out to Breaking Bad for having Latrell Hawkins. Yeah, I think that's the comedian's name, and Bill Burr. They play two of Saul Goodman. He's the lawyer. They play two of his bodyguards, and they're two comedians in real life. And those two dudes are just so funny with their one-liners in the show, but they also play the bodyguard role really well. So just want to give a shout out to them. But then New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, I should say, I bartended a house party for some Chili's regulars. I did it last year, and I did it now. They invited me to do it again this year, and I definitely wanted to take up on that offer because they're great Chili's regulars. They tip amazing, and they're just really genuinely nice people. And you know what? They know how to have a fucking good time. So last year I did the party and I made some really good money. So this year I knew I had to do it again and make some good coin because, I really didn't have any other plans going on for me. So I showed up to I worked all day at the Pepper on New Year's Eve, made some decent money, made like quick 30, 40 bucks. It was actually pretty slow. But then I headed over to their house by 6 o'clock. The party started about 7:30, and mind you, the party was in their kind of set up garage area. Their garage is kind of also like a living room that was converted. It has a bar in it. It's got a nice space heater, carpet. It's the real deal. And there's tables and chairs for everyone. So all the adults are pretty much in there, but also in the house. But everyone has to come out to the garage for drinks. And so, it's just bottled beers, real easy. Just pop the tops off, hand them to people. And then most folks are ordering, this dude kind of had a full stacked bar with everything you can imagine for the most part. But, for anyone ordering liquor, they just ordered, Jack and Coke, vodka soda, vodka tonic, gin and tonic. You name it, they ordered the simple shit. So, I'm not really doing anything crazy. But I was making rounds of shots for people. I was making Dirty Girl Scouts, Buttery Nipples, Starfuckers. That was the host's favorite shot. It's Crown, Watermelon Pucker, and Monster. Pretty good shot, actually. I actually made my first few wet pussies. Those went pretty well. I was proud of myself because I was worried that I fucked it up, but people said they loved them. So I was okay with it. I was just reading the recipe off Google and, eyeballing it. I've been bartending for a minute, but, I didn't have jiggers, and I definitely didn't have pour spouts on these, bottles, so it was definitely all eyeball tests. So people were enjoying my shots. I wasn't bitching. Anyway, I made, almost, $500 that night bartending. So I left at about 3 o'clock, got home, passed out, and I was just happy. And, granted, I did drink a little bit that night, just a tiny bit, but, I didn't want to sleep over at their house. I just really wanted to go home to my own bed. That was the only reason why I didn't drink much. Like I said, I'm over my drinking and driving. I don't do that no more. Definitely, they can't do it. That's going to wrap up this episode of Reasons Why I Drink. I hope you all had a great Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I know I'm pretty late. I hadn't done an episode in a while. Let's see what song we're going to listen to on the way out. Ooh. Carry It. Travis Barker. He had an album back in 2011. And it was mostly a rap album. Travis Barker was doing the drums and the instrumentals. And he just had a bunch of featured artists. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this one has RZA or Raekwon. And it's one of my favorites. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this episode of Reasons Why I Drink. This is going to wrap up this episode of Reasons Why I Drink. I'm Cosmo, signing off here in Mom's basement. Enjoy the rest of this song, folks. Have a good night. I'm losing weight, I turn sun chariot.